Doctor Who, Story by Story, The Mind of Evil Review. Just the facts. The Mind of Evil is the name of a six-part Doctor Who story that was broadcast second in the show's 8th season, from the 30th of January to the 6th of March 1971. It starred Jon Pertwee in his second season as the Third Doctor, accompanied by his new assistant Jo Grant, played by Katie Manning in her first season, and working for UNIT, headed by Brigadier Alastair Gordon Lethbridge-Stewart, played by the inestimable Nicholas Courtney, and his associates Captain Mike Yates, played by Richard Franklin, and Sergeant Benton, played by John Levine. Roger Delgado was also a regular character as the Master in Season 8. The story was written by Don Houghton, who had previously written the previous season's Inferno, and directed by Timothy Combe, who directed The Silurians the previous season. It was produced and script edited by Barry Letts and Terence Dicks, respectively. Plot. UNIT is helping provide security at an international conference, while the Doctor and Jo visit Strangmore Prison to check out a new form of punishment, the Keller Machine, which promises to remove all violent impulses from prisoners. But the Master is involved in both, and is intending to destroy the conference and provoke world war. Guest cast. The guest cast for this story includes William Marlowe as Mailer, a British actor best known for his role in The Gentle Touch, Neil McCarthy as Barnum, who also appeared in the Doctor Who story The Power of Kroll, and Michael Sheard, a respected British actor with a long list of credits including Grange Hill and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and who also appeared in a number of other Doctor Who stories, including Pyramids of Mars, Remembrance of the Daleks, and Castrovalva. Trivia. The story went way over budget, resulting in producer Barry Letts barring director Timothy Combe from working on Doctor Who again. The original colour recordings of The Mind of Evil were lost, and for a long time the story only existed in black and white, though it was recolorized for the story's DVD release. The Mind of Evil was novelised by Terence Dicks in 1985 and released on video in 1998 and DVD in 2013. The soundtrack for the story was released in 2009. The Mind of Evil was Katie Manning's favourite Doctor Who story. Reaction. The story scored between 6.1 and 8.8 million viewers across 6 episodes. The Mind of Evil is also a popular story with Doctor Who fans, and is generally regarded as one of the best Jon Pertwee stories. What I think. I've always been rather fond of The Mind of Evil. I first saw it a very long time ago, but about 1993, I think, at a Doctor Who fan club in Adelaide. At that time, they were using a venue that actually had a cinema-like screen, so it was quite something to see this story for the first time on the big screen like a big movie, and I thoroughly enjoyed it at the time. The Mind of Evil also holds a special place in my heart for another reason. The late 90s / early 2000s were a little bit of a rough time for me as a Doctor Who fan. My interest had started to wane, particularly after both the failure of the TV movie to result in a new series, and frankly the fact that I didn't even like the TV movie very much anyway. At the time I'd followed the New Adventures book series, never really got into the 8 Doctor ones that the BBC put out, and by the late 90s, early 2000s, it kind of felt like Doctor Who was dead. I'd seen it all and done it all, apart from a very small handful of stories, and I just felt I was feeling a little bit burnt out on it. In fact, I don't think I'd watched a story for a year, maybe even more than that. And then, for some reason, it was Easter 2001, and I was basically stuck home alone. It was bucketing down with rain, and it was Easter Sunday, and I'm thinking, what the hell am I supposed to do today? And I had like a little packet of those chocolate Easter egg things, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to stick a Doctor Who on. let's put The Mind of Evil on. Now, it's probably an indication of just how kind of burned out I'd become at that point, that I kind of half suspected that I might watch 1 or 2 episodes and turn the thing off. And instead, I sat there quite happily for 2.5 hours eating chocolate Easter eggs and watching The Mind of Evil all the way through. And it was kind of after that that my enthusiasm for Doctor Who relit itself again. So I credit The Mind of Evil for that. And yet, it's still a very good story. It's very much feels like a throwback to Season 7 in terms of style, albeit with some Season 8 additions like The Master and Joe. I can kind of see why this was, or is, Katie Manning's favourite story, since Joe comes across being a lot more mature and capable and level-headed in this than in some of the others. Hello, Claws of Axos. She really comes across as being a competent field agent, and it's a really good story for her. It's a really good story for all the regulars, with everybody getting a fair kind of shake. Yates, Benton, the Brig, everyone gets stuff to do, and it's very enjoyable as a result. I've always liked The Mind of Evil. I'm actually thinking of watching it again, though, given that the Season 8 Blu-ray set is coming out. It'll be May here in Australia. I think I may well wait a few months and see how the picture quality's improved this time. I like The Mind of Evil a lot, and I give it a strong B+.